kind of.
Hello and welcome. You're watching NewsX and I'm Vaishali Kohli. Now, about 300 dog carcasses were found dumped in a pit in Jagtial district in the latest case of alleged mass killing of strays in Telangana, taking the total number of stray dogs found dead in the state this month to nearly 900. According to the first information report in the latest case, the incident occurred on January 22, 2026 at around 3:30 p.m. and was reported to the police on January 23, 2026 at 6:55 p.m. Meanwhile, based on the complaint, the police have registered a case against Pegadapalli village Sarpanch and the Gram Panchayat secretary, along with other people under relevant sections of the Bharatiya Nyaya Sanhita, including section 325, read with 3 by 5 and section 11 by 1A of the Prevention of Cruelty to Animals Act. The question now arises is that how long will it really take for justice or for action to be taken to stop such incidents? I want to introduce all my guests joining me on the broadcast. I have Ambika Shukla, she's an animal welfarist. I have Sanjay Sahai, former IPS officer. Advocate Manasvi Thapar, he's a political analyst. And I have Gautam Mukherjee, senior journalist, joining me. I want to go across to Ambika Shukla, who's an animal welfarist. Ambika, I want to begin by, of course, asking you, for your opening comments, how do you feel about this brutal and shocking incident?
I don't think there's any other word for it to say except shocked, disgusted, and shamed. Shamed that because we belong to a country that produced Mahatma Gandhi. We belong to a country that preaches ahimsa. I'm standing outside Telangana Bhavan, where there is a protest going on, calling attention to the chief minister of what is happening in his state. 1,000 dogs in 1 week. This is shameful. And I believe it is the direct result of the case going on in the Supreme Court, where there have been orders calling for removal. Now, when the Supreme Court mentions the word removal of animals, a lot of people take shortcuts like this, and we've seen the result in the escalation of cruelty around the country, culminating in this dastardly action in Telangana, where 1,000 dogs have been murdered and more continue to die every day. And we need to see some strong action. If the Supreme Court was moved to a suo motu case in the case of one life, here there are 1,000 lives. I would like to see the Supreme Court show the same compassion, show the same alacrity in taking action against this kind of cruelty. We must not allow this to happen. We cannot just stand by and countenance things. This is not normal, and this should never be allowed to pass without some very, very strict, stern, and immediate action.
You know, Ambika, what makes it more shameful is the fact that this was done because to fulfill certain promises that these representatives and these Gram Panchayat people made to the public around. What do you have to say for that?
This is because this is being legitimized. These demands are being legitimized. Dogs are not a new population. We've always lived with dogs. It's not like there have never been dogs before, there have never been bites before, there have been. But we have never overreacted, we have never over-sensationalized, we have dealt with them. We have got to the reason. A dog only bites out of fear. If you show kindness, dogs don't bite. We have always preached kindness, and India has always practiced kindness. Over the last couple of years, with our population booming, and people talk about animal populations booming, that's wrong. The only population that has multiplied is the human population. We have now overtaken China to become the most populous country in the world. It is our population that has increased. Space has shrunk as a result of that. And our intolerance has grown as a result of that. And we need to fix responsibility where it belongs. Municipalities have been tasked with sterilization programs for dogs. Even those have not been addressed seriously. For 5 years, the center has given zero funds for the ABC program. They've simply left it to the resources of municipalities. Some do it, some have not. In Telangana, for example, there has been no municipal areas except for Hyderabad, where they have started ABC centers. We sent a fact-feeding team down to these villages where these murders have occurred. And that team has reported that the sarpanches and the villagers were given the option of sterilization, would have happily taken sterilization, except that it was never offered. In fact, Telangana is the one state that in its affidavit to the Supreme Court has actually asked for killing of dogs, even though they claim that 80% of their dogs are sterilized, which is completely false. They are saying now they want them killed. So you have wasted the money, what you claim, for 80% sterilization, and now you want to see that go down the drain by killing those same sterilized friendly dogs. It doesn't make sense because nobody in this whole issue is talking sense. We do not have a census of dogs. We do not have the numbers. We have ordered dogs to be taken to shelters that do not exist. This is like being in Alice in Wonderland, you know, with nothing making sense at all. People talking just at random, pulling figures out of the air, saying anything they please because they know that dogs cannot speak back. Dogs cannot tell you the truth. Dogs cannot tell you what happened. And so we take advantage of their helplessness, the fact that they have no voice, no choice. We show them no empathy. We show them no logic. When two athletes in Indore were molested in broad daylight, did we round up all the young men of Indore and say put them in jail? Did we forbid them food? Did we say that they will live forever, and not just those two, but the entire species, the entire male species? Here we have done that to dogs. We've said pick up all the dogs in institutional areas. Did we do that when the same things happen among humans? When we rape, when we kill, when we murder, when we thieve, is there an intemperate order given that all humans are to be punished for one person's mistake or action? It seems that, you know, there is no logic applied when it comes to animals, and that is what is so worrying in a country like India, where 70% of India depends on animals. We use animals for transport, we use them for food, we use them for clothes, we use them for fertilizer, we use them in farming, we use them in our police, we use them in our forces for security. When there was a bomb explosion in Delhi, the first people to reach there was the bomb squad. Who secured the area was your dog sniffers. So we use dogs when it suits us, and we abuse them when it suits us. Is this justice? Is this fair? Is this logical? Is it empathy? Is it compassion? Is it the land of Mahatma Gandhi?
Ambika, now just for the benefit of our viewers, I want to ask you, what exactly are the animal protection laws in this country? And the second part to my question is, do you think that these laws have enough teeth, or is enforcement the real problem?
Is that to me? Is that question to me?
Yes, yes, Ambika, absolutely.
Oh, sorry. Okay, yeah. The laws are, at the present, we have the Prevention of Cruelty to Animals Act 1960. Now, this is the date 1960 is extremely important. At a time when India was grappling with huge issues, we had just got our independence. Our forefathers, our constitutional founders, were considered animal cruelty important enough to make such a huge and important law. And they put the punishment as rupees 50. In those years, 50 rupees for cruelty to animals, which includes pulling a dog's tail, overloading a horse, keeping an animal tied up, overburdening any animal. All of these crimes were considered important enough to charge them what would be the equivalent of rupees 50,000 today for any of these crimes. That is the importance that our forefathers assigned to animal cruelty, because they realized that a society that does not protect its weakest, its animals, that animal cannot protect anybody. And we need to understand that, because the people who commit cruelty to animals are the very same people who go on to commit crimes against humans. This is what is important about punishing animal cruelty and deterring it. in the many years since independence, since 1960, we are now in 2025, which means 65 years later, the fine for cruelty to animals still remains rupees 50, which it was in 1960. Is this fair? Is this even sensible? I mean, have our lawmakers actually thought through this problem? The Supreme Court that is grappling with the issue of community dogs and calling for their removal from certain places, have they even looked at the basis of the problem, the cruelty that is done to animals that causes them to react? If we do not want bites, let us get rid of cruelty. That is where it stems from. You show a dog a stick, you kick a dog, you stone a dog, you pick up your hand, you swing a bag, you run screaming, you do all of those things, and you expect animals not to react at all? I mean, you have to look at the basis of the problem. It is not enough for you to simply pass an order saying, off with their heads and get rid of them. This is not Alice in Wonderland we're talking about, but at the moment, the way we are dealing with it seems to be like we're in Alice in Wonderland. No figures are being taken. No sensible solutions are being considered. No animal people are being asked for any kind of suggestions. When you're dealing with a specialized field, you need to consult specialists. If you're dealing with medicine, you will go to a doctor. If you're dealing with animals, you need to come to the animal welfare organizations, the animal welfare people who understand animals, who work with animals, who have constructive suggestions to give you. And what are we saying? We are saying that the municipality has failed at the ABC program, the Animal Birth Control Program. Do not assign it to municipalities because they treat it like a punishment posting. They assign their worst staff there. There is no accountability. Nobody takes any hisab of how many dogs have gone for sterilization, how many dogs have died on the operation table, how many dogs have been released back to their regular places. All of this needs to be taken care of. These animals are not aloo sabzi. They are living beings. They have the same feelings as us. They feel the same fear, the same love, the same jealousy, the same happiness, the same every feeling that we hunger. We are stopping their feeding from place to place. Every place is a struggle. Don't feed here, don't feed there, don't feed here, don't feed the birds, don't feed the monkeys, don't feed the dogs. Why? Only feed human beings. Is all the resources of the whole planet only supposed to be for the benefit of human beings? Do animals who contribute so much to our lives, so much to our economy, should they get nothing in return, not even the right to live? Here, 1,000 dogs have been killed in 1 week in Telangana. This is shocking. And I'd like to see that this case is fast-tracked. I would like to see that the sarpanches involved in this never stand for election again. They should be disqualified for life. If they have made promises to this effect, they should be disqualified for life.
All right, Ambika, thank you for joining me on the broadcast. And now I want to go across to